Good morning to one and all who have gathered here. Myself, Ramya, Department of Commerce and Management, starting for the second section, that is second session, that is the chapter 2, Modes of Entry in International Business. What are the modes of international business? That is different modes of international business or different entry into international business. First one is exporting. Second, licensing. Third, franchising. Fourth, contract manufacturing. Fifth, management contracts. Sixth, FDI without allowances. FDI with allowances. In that you have some more subdivisions that we are going to discuss in this session. Forms of exporting are indirect exporting, direct exporting, intra-corporate transfer. The forms of exporting. What is exporting? Exporting means shipping the goods and services out of the port of a country. Seller is referred as an exporter. Buyer is referred as an importer. In simple terms, exporting means you're selling your goods to another country. So there are three forms: indirect exporting, direct exporting. What is this indirect exporting? Indirect exporting means that the firm participates in international business through an intermediary and does not deal with foreign customers or market directly. So indirect exporting means it does not enter into the foreign market or the host country directly. It goes with the help of intermediaries. Next, what is this direct exporting? Direct exporting means that the firm works with the foreign customers or market with the opportunity to develop its relationship. So here the customer or the business firm participates in international business without the help of any other intermediaries. Directly it deals the customer and it directly deals with the market. So that only it is called as direct exporting. What is this indirect exporting? I told you indirect exporting is nothing but the firm enters into the foreign market with the intermediaries or with the middlemen. Here, for example, you do the business with two countries, USA and India. So, USA is the home country. Company A transferred to company B. Whatever the goods that the company B is transferring, it will transfer to the company C and sells to the Indian users. Here, USA is company A, India is company C, but B is the mediator. So that mediator only is called as indirect exporting. Next, what is indirect exporting? Exporting of goods and services through various home-based exporter. See, there are different ways of exporting. First is manufacturer exports through agents. Export commission works with an agent, export merchants works with an agent, and international firms work with an agent. So I told you the industries or exporting which is done with the help of mediators, that is called as agents. That only is called as exporting, or it is called as indirect exporting. An example of indirect exporting. Indirect exporting we have already seen. Now the same example for the direct exporting also. What is this direct exporting? Direct exporting works without the help of intermediaries. The products that is being manufactured directly it will sell to the other country. For example, USA and India. Company A sells the goods to company C. See, if you see indirect exporting, we had company A sells to company B and company B sells to the company C, that is Indian customers or users we have seen in indirect exporting. Direct exporting, you don't have any mediaries. You yourself, company where you are purchasing and the company who is selling. So there are two parties, that is, one is the buyer and the seller. There is no mediators. So that type of exporting is called as direct exporting. Differences of direct exporting and indirect exporting. Direct exporting, if you can see, there is a big arrow mark. The goods that is being produced is reaching the customers, the end users, that is the producer and end users are meeting to each other with the help of foreign agent, foreign retailer and foreign end user. Next, indirect. See, the producer of US as an export management or export trading company, that company works under a foreign distributor agent and that foreign retailer will sell it to the foreign end user. So here in direct, the producer and the end user are meeting to each other, but indirect, that is indirect exporting, producer and end users are not meeting each other. What is this? The third point, a third type of exporting is intra-corporate transfer. See, there is an example. See, for all that direct, indirect and intra-corporate transfers, we have taken the same example, US, India, and this also we are taking the same example, US and India. So here intra-corporate transfer, the producer himself goes to the foreign country and sells the same goods. There is no interference with the foreign country, that is home country rules only is imbibed even in foreign country. Company A only produces and company A only sells. Company A only deals all the task. That is called as intra-corporate transfer. Next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of exporting? See, there are many advantages and many disadvantages in that, very peculiar and very easy for you, only that we have taken. First, what is advantages? With the low financial investment, you can start your business. You can do business. That's only called as relatively low financial exposure. With the minimum amount, you can do business. Next, permit gradual market entry. There is no restriction. If you have one permit, you can enter into the foreign market. Next, acquire knowledge about local market. See, once when you are entering, you can easily know what is the local market and how it is and what are the taste and preferences, what are the culture, what are the traditions, you can easily come across. Next, here, next point is to avoid restrictions on foreign investment. See, foreigners come, invest, and that risk is not there. You usually, anyone can come and anyone can do, so that there is no restriction in foreign investment. Next, disadvantages. There are vulnerabilities and tariffs and NTBs, no non-trading permits are there. So next, there is lot of complications and logistic complications. Logistic complication means transportation complication. Next, there is potential conflicts with the distributor. See, home country also same person will be there and the host country also same persons will be there. So you will have the clashes between the foreign country and home country people, local country. So that clashes may lead for some adverse effect. That is the disadvantages of exporting. What do you mean by licensing? Licensing also is a form of entry into international business, or it is called as modes of entry into international business. Licensing. Licensing is when a firm called licensor and a licensee wants to change their rights and use their intellectual property, technology, work methods, patents, copyrights, brand name or trademark to another firm. It's called as licensee in return for a fee. So in simple terms, licensing consists of two persons, the licensor and the licensee. The licensor is the owner and the licensee is the person who is purchasing or using the property for certain period of time. What they use? They use patents, trademarks, copyrights, technology, technical know-how and specific business skills. The next concept is licensing process. I told you in licensing there are two persons, the licensor and the licensee. So how this process works with the licensor and the licensee, that only we are going to see. Licensor leases the rights to use the intellectual property. Licensee uses the intellectual property to create the products. For what? To pay a royalty to a lessor. That is, to pay a royalty for the licensor, and for which the licensor receives or he earns the new revenue with low investment. Basic issues of international licensing. So what are the issues that they see in licensing? First is the specification of the boundaries of the agreement. So here he specifies the boundaries, where you should go, where you should not go, where you have to do business, what type of the business, all that the licensor will tell the licensee in an agreement. Next, determining compensation for using his property or using the trademarks, for using the patents, for using the technological upgradation knowledge. You pay certain amount that is called as licensor fee. Next, establishing rights, privileges and constraints. So whatever the rights that he has, he gives to us with certain amount. Next, specifying the duration of the contract, how long the contract will work. Next, differences in laws. See, there is differences in the home country and host country. In home country they behave differently, and in host country they behave differently. According to the country's norms, according to the taste and preference of the people, according to the local market, how it works, like that they have to change. Licensing advantages and disadvantages. So licensing advantages, once again you know, it requires low financial risk. So you cannot bring in all the capital of yours from the foundation to the stretch, because it's already done, only that you are using for certain number of time, for certain number of years. So that only the financial risk is less. Low cost way to access market potential. Already the market is conquered. Here what you are doing, you are using your potential to know how the market it is, and you are directly selling your products. Next, avoids tariffs, NTBs, restriction of foreign direct investment. So here no risk of your tariffs, quotas, petitions and all that, it's not there. Next, licensee provides the knowledge of local market. How the market is there, first only the licensor will tell the licensee, on that basis he will analyze. So analyzing the markets also is very easy, so that's an advantage for licensing. Next, we are going to see disadvantages of licensing. Limited market. So which contract we have put, according to that contract, according to the lease agreement, how many years that is, that you have to go according to it only. Limited market opportunity and profits. Next, dependence on the licensee. So licensee is always depending on the licensor. Potential conflicts with licensee. So always there is a conflict between the licensor and the licensee. Next, possibility of creating future competitors. So in future there will be more competition.